Time to play the game!
Yeah, it's time to play the game, all right. The question is, when is he going to play it again?
That's going to be an interesting question to see answered. I think he'll come back from time to time. You know, he's going to be involved in this business for a long time. So.
Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. He's Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker. I'm weight loss champion Chuck Carroll. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain.
Shameless
Follow
plug.
me on Twitter. Hey, I'm coming up on 30, and wouldn't this be a great birthday present for you to follow me? Shameless plug at the Chuck Carroll, Carroll. What's your Twitter handle again, Pump?
At Adam Carriker, 94.
There you go. And so before we unzip the mailbag here, it just dawned on me. We are 3 segments deep into the show.
I can't believe you haven't noticed yet.
It just dawned on me.
I've just been waiting for you to say something.
You're wearing the CM Punk shirt. I like it.
I'm wearing a CM Punk shirt.
I'm a fan. Now, pray tell. Well, what gives you celebrating a SummerSlam win? What's the logic here?
Well, you know, I like CM Punk. You know, I like the fact that he's turned heel. I think he's a much better heel than, you know, babyface. Kind of like The Rock. I think, you know, when The Rock first came out, everyone was supposed to like him, and, you know, fans didn't like him, and he couldn't say what he wanted to say. Then when he turned heel, boom, he could just let it rip. So I think that's where CM Punk's forte is. So I'm happy that he's turned heel. That's not really the reason I'm wearing the shirt. I don't know that you... I'm not going to flip around. But best in the world. I am the best. We are the best in the world.
You're damn right.
We are the best pro football, pro wrestling radio show in the world.
That's right.
Hands down.
Out of a group
best in the world. That's why we're saying
one, we are number one, buddy.
You didn't have to throw that in there.
Well, that's okay. It kind of reminds me of when I got third place in the state of Virginia in wrestling.
Out of 3?
3 people in the weight class, baby.
See,
it doesn't matter. That's still bronze.
I was pumping us up. You just killed me there.
Yeah, well,
we're the best in the world, doggone it.
We are the best in the world at what it is that we do. And what we do is entertain. Oh. And to entertain, it is time to open up.
Well, see, now we're going to have Jericho coming at us because, you know, best in the world at what we do. That's what he says. Now we're, you know, he's going to say we're ripping him off. What's he call them? Copycats? I forget what he calls them.
Rolls together in one big happy WWE family.
It does. It does. We're just the best in the world.
Mailbag time. Your questions, our answers. If you want to ask us a question at any time, just tweet us at Fourth and Pain. We will answer your tweet on the show. We got one from Mike in Rockville. Actually, this was an email. He sent it in from fourthandpain.com. He says, hey, guys, I eat well and I work out, but have always had trouble putting on weight. And I'm talking about the good kind of weight, muscle weight. He says he's a P90X guy, but have, you know, still seen the results in the lean department and not much in the bulk department. So I've tried almost everything, the whole more weight, less reps approach. Nothing is working. What out-of-the-box remedy do you suggest, Adam, so that he can bulk up?
Well, kind of the general rules to how things kind of work in the weight room. If you want to, I'll just kind of explain everything. If you want to get leaner, you want to get more ripped, it's kind of like 10 reps or more, 10, 12, 15, maybe 8 if you want to sneak it in. You know, just straight power is like 4 to 6 reps. So for like explosive power, and for strength is like 1 to 3 reps. Then you get into the rest time. You know, the leaner you want to get, you can go 30 seconds rest to 2 minutes rest. I recommend like a minute. You know, if you want to, you know, put on that mass, if you want to get stronger, you want to take 3 to 5 minutes rest because it allows you to do more weight. So I would stick with anywhere from, you know, maybe 2 to 6 reps, and I would stick with 3 to 5 minutes rest because that allows you to do more weight, put on more mass. But then also the thing you got to take into consideration, a lot of people leave out is the nutrition part. You know, I like to eat deep fried fish, apparently. You know, I'm pretty sure it's healthier than deep fried fish. But anyways, you know, taking and people are gonna give me a hard time, but taking protein, you know, it's going to add that muscle mass. It's going to add the size, and you got to find good protein. Honestly, if you want to send us another email or tweet at us, I can give you a recommendation to a really good protein that I use. I found out that just any old regular protein powder, you know, there's a lot of them that aren't that good. There's a lot of them that are better. And if you're just looking for, if you're looking to put on size and muscle, also creatine. You're going to retain some water with that. So I don't know if you're concerned about retaining a little bit of water, but creatine will help you do that as well. So low reps, nice amount of rest time, and then protein and creatine, and just make sure you're eating plenty of healthy calories as well with your actual food.
Now, when you talk about getting protein, I'm an all-natural guy. So say that, I am Mike in Rockville. What kind of protein should I be eating if I'm not really a supplement guy and I really wanted to try to get it, just in food as much as possible? Or is it better to go with the beef or the chicken or the deep fried fish, or where should I be looking
as
for
far
protein?
as what you're eating,
Yes.
not just a powder?
Correct.
For leanness, grilled chicken is really good, but anything with a lot of protein, period, is going to be good. It's going to help you put on size as well. Grilled chicken is, my wife's a nutritionist. She was a trainer at Gold. She's big into the grilled chicken. You can eat the red meats such as steak and stuff like that because that's going to help you with the size. Maybe not quite as healthy or anything like that. Fish is extremely healthy. So you probably want to stay towards the grilled chicken, the fish, and you can enjoy the red meats from time to time. Just make sure you're eating plenty of protein and, throw in some protein shakes, in between your meals as well. You want to try to eat about 5 to 6 meals a day. So if you can actually eat like 4 meals of food, then maybe get 2 protein shakes somewhere in between your meals as well.
There you go. See, I knew that Mike asked the right person, man. You are a muscle-bound SOB. I will tell you that right now.
Well, I'm sitting next to a guy who eats a salad of B-dubs and calls that a cheat meal, and I'm just like, what? It's a salad, but because it's not from Whole Foods, it's processed, and in your world, that is a cheat meal.
Exactly.
And that blows my mind, by the way. But that is just how dedicated you are to what you do.
Well, you and I just approach fitness from 2 completely different angles, but indeed, you and I are actually trying to get 2 completely different things out of it as well.
Well, you claim to have never stepped in a gym, and you haven't, but I think you're just scared of the weights. I think they just intimidate. I think they just scare you, man. It's like you got to change your diaper when you go into a gym.
When I was a heavy-set guy, and was going to the gym, I was not afraid of those weights whatsoever, and I'm still not.
Well, just because you're putting food in your mouth doesn't mean you're lifting weights.
Shut up, man. I would go there. Boy, I was as strong as you when I was carrying around 420 pounds, man. I could outlift you any day.
Well, for about 1 second, then you'd be on the ground. You need some oxygen.
Yeah, I would go
Pillar of
outside
honesty.
and take my cigarette. No, honest to God. Did I ever tell you this? I was in such bad shape at that point. Even when I was going to the gym, I would get my cardio out of the way. And, of course, this is, still when I was fat. This is one of my famous failed diets. Get my cardio out of the way, go outside for a cigarette break. I'm dead serious, man.
Wow,
dude, it was horrible. I was a mess, man.
Holy Moses,
and
Malone.
then I would go to Taco Bell afterwards.
Get your protein in.
Exactly.
Get that protein.
God, man, I was just the poster boy for fitness. All right.
Well, hold on. One of my neighbors in Colorado. I know we got some questions. One of my neighbors in Colorado. His actual workout, like he'll go to a gym where bodybuilders and powerlifters lift. His workout is taking the plates on and off of the bar for them. That is his workout. Like, he's a 50-year-old man, kind of skinny, but he tells me that's his workout. I'm like, all right, John.
Good
that
for
works.
John, I support you, man. You're in a gym more than I am anyway. Dina Mechanicsville writes in, I saw Chris Baker commented about being compared to Rikishi on last week's show. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, of all the wrestlers in history, it's who... Actually, I didn't say it. Robert did. I just agreed with it. But to be honest, of all the wrestlers in history, I mean, the stink face, I could just see Chris Baker taking his 330, 325 frame and just planting his hind parts, right in somebody's, the stink face. He'd be awesome at the stink face. Maybe he'll do it to a couple of quarterbacks this year. But, I think the stink face would be his go-to, his SmackDown move, if you will.
Yeah, and you know what? I would say you could also say Yokozuna, but he's not Yokozuna.
He's not that big.
He's not Yokozuna big, but cut from the same cloth.
Well, Yokozuna could move around really well for a big guy, as can Chris Baker. So if you want to compare him that way.
Did you know Yokozuna and Rikishi were related?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're all part of Alpha Wild Samoans family.
So does that mean that the Usos, the modern day Usos, are somehow connected to Yokozuna as well? Because aren't they Rikishi's sons?
Indeed.
Uh-huh.
And I believe
wrestling knowledge right there.
They are nephews of The Rock or cousins or something.
I know they're related to him some way as well.
They're all tied in there.
Yeah.
Last question, Tim in Bethesda. Hey Adam, I saw you on the post game show on Comcast following the Bears game. You seem pretty comfortable. Is doing this show paying off on your media skills? And let me just jump right in and say absolutely, because you had that down to a science. I told you on the phone after this, I was dying laughing. You even had the head head nod down. They would ask you a question. Look right into that camera. do one of these numbers. So I would say yes. I would say yes.
Well, you know where I came from.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should share the story.
By
should I
all
share
means.
the story?
By all means.
All right. So when I first, in high school, I never had to deal with the media. We won 2 games in 4 years. I mean, cameras literally ran from where we were at on the field. So when I got to Nebraska, obviously big-time program, media's everywhere. They wanted me to go do these interviews when I first got there, and I was a freshman, so nobody really knew. And if I didn't show up, they didn't really care. But, as time went on, I was starting. And one day, Zach Taylor, who was the quarterback's coach in Miami, his wife, Sarah, and actually Zach, he was our quarterback. He won Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, so on and so forth. He's on the Hard Knocks show right now. But his wife, Sarah, worked with our media relations, and she was just the nicest girl ever, still really nice. She asked me to go upstairs and do the interviews one, I think it was like a Wednesday. And, I said I would, and I had no intention of doing it. I mean, I was in a cutoff shirt. I was in shorts. I had just finished working out, and there was no way to get to our locker room at the time except to go outside. And it was like December. It was like a Nebraska winter. The snow's flying, and it was incredibly like 40, 50 mile-an-hour winds that day. It was like 0 degrees. Excuse me. And it was like either go out and suffer through that and have to walk all the way around the whole building to get to the locker room or go do the interviews. Well, I lied, said I would do it, and then I suffered, sweaty, walked all the way around the building, took like at least 6-7 minutes. And I went to the locker room just to avoid the media. I mean, that's how badly I hated interviews. That's how much I did not want to be around the media. And actually, she found me later that day. She tracked me down in the cold tub, and this nice lady ripped my butt. And she was livid. She was mad. She was red in the face. You don't do that. You don't lie to me. And she had every right to do so. But I've gone from that to doing a radio show. Can I tell another quick story? I know we're low on time. I hear the music playing. Real quick.
30 seconds or less.
So I grew up, going to church, and I remember one day we had a pastor come in, like from another church, and he's telling a story about how God calls, and you need to find your calling in life for God. And he's like, you need to do whatever that is, whether it's really what you want to do, and that's what you need to do. And I remember praying at the end of the service, please don't call me to be a pastor, God. Please, because I don't want to have to talk in front of people. That's how badly I didn't want to talk in front of people. I was praying not to become a pastor. And yet, look at me now. I sit next to you. We're doing the YouTube. We're on 106.7 The Fan. And I have come light years. And
you know what? God answered your prayers because you are not a pastor, my friend.
I am definitely not a pastor. No. I do go to church, but I'm definitely not a pastor.
You've full on become a media darling here in D.C., whether you like it or not.
Well, I appreciate the media a lot more now than I used to.
All right. Well, on that note, we got to zip this up. On the flip side, hey, we're coming back. 4th down time. SummerSlam recap and the Laroning Challenge getting close. I am to having to don something rather
pink
embarrassing.
tutu.
I don't think it's going to be a pink tutu, but it's up for discussion.
Okay.
It's up for discussion. Right. We'll talk about that on the flip side. Hit up SummerSlam. This is 4th and Pain. He's Adam Carriker. I'm Chuck Carroll. Stick around.